many zeros does this function have? It's got 5 because the degree is 5, right? 5. So I know that it's got 5 zeros. That's a 5. Use your imagination. Okay, so I know it's got 5 zeros. So what was the first step for finding zeros?
Graph it.
Graph it and what?
Look at the easy zero.
Find the easy zeros. So let's do that. We looked at our graph and we said, all right, we think that we've got zeros at x equals, well, we know we've got zeros at x equals 2. And we think that we've got maybe a repeating zero at x equals -1. We'll check that in a little bit. Okay. Let's deal with this x equals 2 first. All right, so my process was find the easy zeros, divide it out using synthetic division. So that's what I'm going to do first here. I'm going to put the 2 in the little box. Okay, write down my coefficients. 1, -4, 4, 10, -13, -14. Okay. All right, synthetic division.
Here we go.
Okay, bring down the 1. 2 times 1 is 2. -4 plus 2 is -2. 2 times -2 is -4. 0, 0, 10, 20, positive 7, sorry. 7, and then 14. And what do I get for my remainder?
0.
0. Good. Now, so we were right. 2 is a 0. We've divided it out. And now, we suspect that -1 is not just a 0, but a repeating 0. So let's suppose we didn't know that it was a repeating 0. We had no idea. We just said, hey, it crosses at -1. Let's check it out. I think instead of rewriting the polynomial and then doing synthetic division again, I think we can just do synthetic division right from what we've got written there. So I'm going to put that -1 in the little box. Draw another line.
Is that how you get rid of some of those numbers? Okay, we'll just go.
I think. I think you're right. Yes. Okay. Division again. Bring down the 1. -1 times 1 is -1. -3. 3. 3. -3. Positive 7. -7. My remainder is 0. Just like I wanted. So -1 was in fact a 0. Now, at this point, if I didn't know that -1 was repeating, I would take a look at my new polynomial, which I think would be something like x cubed minus 3x squared plus x plus 7. And I would graph it and see if there were any easy zeros in that thing. Do we want to do that? So we checked our graph. We said, hey, it looks like -1 is a repeating 0, so we're going to divide it out again. Better change colors. Put the -1 in the little box. That green's not very defined, is it? Let's try white. Draw the line. Bring down the 1. -1. -4. 4. 7. -7. 0.
0.
Beautiful. Now, I better be careful. Let me keep my list of zeros going over here. I've got x equals -1 is another 0, right? Okay. It's a repeating 0. Now, I'm thinking that I'm going to have 2 more. And Thomas just said, hey, I think I've got it down to a quadratic. So can I erase some stuff and then can we deal with that quadratic?
Let's do it.
Okay, so we've made some room now then. And this is a quadratic and it doesn't factor, I don't think. You can try it and you'll fail. So we're going to have to use the quadratic formula, right? So x equals -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. What is b?
It is -4.
So I'm going to have -4, so I'll actually have a positive 4, right?
That's what you had up there.
Plus or minus,
I saw that.
plus or minus the square root of b squared. -4 squared is?
-4 squared, 16.
16 minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 7.
Over 2 times 8.
All divided by 2 times a, and a is 1, right? So can we just say divided by 2? Okay. Okay. Now, what is 16 minus 28? In other words, what is underneath the square root there?
-4 times 1 is -4 times is negative 32.
So it'd be negative 8, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All divided by 2?
Yeah.
Wait, no. Negative 12.
That's what I thought.
That's what you thought?
Didn't want to say anything.
Oh, okay. I appreciate your politeness, but feel free to just chime in, whenever I'm wrong, just kidding. All right, now, what do I do with that square root of negative 12?
Didn't you say leave it last time?
Nope. We got to get that. Yeah, get the I out, right? 4 plus or minus I, square root of 12, divided by 2. Now, last chapter we said, or last trimester we said, hey, we got to reduce and simplify that square root of 12. I'm not concerned about reducing the square root of 12, simplifying it, okay? So let's just leave it as 4 plus or minus I square root of 12 over 2. So in our little, as we're keeping track of our solutions, we better write that. X equals 4 plus or minus the square root of, I, times the square root of 12, all divided by 2.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No.
And so how many solutions does this leave me with?
5.
5, right? Yeah. 2, negative 1, negative 1 again, and 4 plus or minus. Remember, plus or minus means 2 solutions. So 4 plus or minus I squared root of 2 divided by 2. And that's it. Any questions? All right, so quick recap. I've got this list of zeros, and I've just turned them into factors, right? So I know x minus 2, x plus 1, x minus 3i, and x plus 3i are all factors. Any questions on how I got the factors?
So we're just going in reverse.
Foiling out the x minus 2 and the x plus 1. Let's do that first. F of x equals x squared minus 2x. Whoops, let's just bring that all together. What's plus x minus 2x? Isn't that just minus x? Okay, good. And then minus 2. That's the first one.
Okay.
Okay, so I just FOILed x minus 2 and x plus 1. The next one, I'm going to take x times x is x squared. Let's see, this is going to be minus 3i times x plus 3i times x. What's going to happen to those middle terms? 0. And then minus 3i, oops. What's 3 times 3? 9i squared. Okay. And I ran out of room there, but 9i, the 3ix's cancel out, right? Okay. So I'm going to, and then what is this 9i squared? What does that change to? We learned last trimester that I squared is the same as what?
The square root of 9.
The square root, not the square root of 9, the square root of negative 1 times the square root of negative 1, which is just
1.
not positive 1, negative 1, right? Okay, quick reminder, I squared equals negative 1. Okay?
Yes.
So if I have negative 9 times negative 1, that changes it to a positive 9. Positive 9, right? So this entire mess right here simplifies to x squared plus what?
9.
9. Yeah, good. Okay. So I had minus 9i squared. That changed to a positive 9. All right. Now, we learned, 2 or 3 sections ago, how do I expand this thing? I take x squared times negative x times negative 2. And then I take 9 times x squared times negative x times negative 2. Are we having fun yet?
No. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm liking the yeses here. So I'm going to take f of x. What is x squared times x squared? X to the 4th. What is x squared times negative x?
Negative x to the 3rd. Negative x cubed.
Negative x cubed. What is x squared times negative 2? 2x squared. Good. And then what is 9 times x squared? 9x squared. And 9 times negative x?
9x.
Minus 9x, yep. And then what's 9 times 2? 9 times 2? Negative 18. Good. Cool. A little bit of section 3 review, or 2, or whatever it was. So when I simplify this, I will get down to x equals x to the fourth. Do I have any cubics to combine? Any x cubed terms that I can combine? Nope. Minus x cubed. How about x squared terms? If I combine like terms on the x squared terms, I should get
7x squared.
7x squared minus 9x minus 18.
And we're back to...
Got it in just behind the Dosery desktop trial watermark. Okay? Any questions on what I did there?
Okay.
The first, before you go, this thing right here, this x squared, or this f of x equals x minus 2 times x plus 1 times x minus 3i times x plus 3i, that's the most important part. From there, it's just expanding polynomials, which is a pain, but the most important part is building that function first, okay?